That's part and parcel of the game.
It's part and parcel of the game.
I think it's part and parcel of the game.
Very much part and parcel of the game.
It's part and parcel of being a footballer, part and parcel of having a squad, part and parcel of being a player.
It's just part and parcel, really.
But it's part and parcel of the game.
That's part and parcel of it, isn't it?
Part and parcel of the job.
That's part and parcel of the job.
It's part and parcel of being a manager. It's definitely part and parcel of being a Premier League manager because...
Stay calm.
Can I just ask about what part and parcel?
That's part and parcel of your job.
No, it's part and parcel of football, to be honest with you.
This is the Part and Parcel of Football podcast. Welcome, guys. This is the very first episode of this podcast, and I'll get into a bit of an introduction. So my name is Ian, and I've never done anything like this before, but I thought, you know, there's so many things flying around with football, and I have so many opinions on it, so why not put it into a podcast for you to listen to? And, you know, if you've got opinions on it for yourself, I am all ears. Bring them along, and any suggestions as well that you want to talk about, I'll put it on the next episode or whatever. And hopefully down the line we'll get if someone wants to talk about something and fancies you know, an actual conversation, then we can do that as well. I am all ears. I'm hoping that this can lead to something good. You know, gain more listeners, gain more followers, and I can be someone that you all resonate with, and not so much share the same views, because that is the part and parcel of football. It's all about agreeing to disagree, and constructive debates and opinions, and so on and so forth. So I want to start with and react to the Club World Cup. So there has been some widespread criticism of the competition, more so from managers of the clubs that are playing in the competition. And Jurgen Klopp was very vocal in this, and he described it as the worst idea that came from FIFA and their hierarchy, which was in turn faced with widespread backlash. And one of those criticisers was obviously a Sky Sports news reporter, Cave, I think his name is, in which he basically said, if you don't want to watch it, you know, go and play tennis or play paddle or go for a swim and stuff like that. And I felt that a bit of an arrogant response. And actually people tended to more be on the Jurgen Klopp side rather than Cave's side. And I think Pep Guardiola actually criticised the competition as well. He was obviously concerned about player welfare, player burnout, and performance drops come November. I think he actually said, by November our season's done. The team could be killed off. So yes, there's been a lot of opinions about this, and some more reaction came out this morning, and it was from Arsene Wenger, and he, again, with a slightly arrogant response, basically said that, we'll talk to the clubs and I'm sure they'll want to do this again. And, it's not that bad, is it, Jurgen? And comments like that. And again, I find that quite arrogant to say things like that, because it's not the clubs you should be asking. It should be the players. Do the players want to do this? Because they know that fans are going to expect their teams. You look at Chelsea, Manchester City, the seasons that they've had, they're going to want to be fighting for the title again. And yes, they're probably excited because they're in this competition, they're watching their team play, and you all know as well as I do, as soon as that season finishes, you just want it to start again. But you're not naive, you're not stupid. You know that these players need a rest in order to perform and go again next season. So like I said, we're not naive. So these fans expect a lot, and if they're expecting their team to perform and to challenge for that title going the next season, if the season before has been bad by their standards, they're expecting something, and by come November, December, players crash out and they burn out, and then the toxicity comes in a little bit because some fans won't accept it. and you'll see stadiums then are not as full as previous weeks if the performances aren't as great. But you know that FIFA are not going to take any responsibility for that. They're not going to look at these games and go, well, that's not, maybe we shouldn't have done this competition. They're going to say, well, it's nothing to do with us. They should be able to manage their play as well. It's not that. I don't understand the reason for this competition. I really don't. And Arsene Wenger, if he was an Arsenal manager, he would not be saying things like that. But because he is a mouthpiece for FIFA, he's employed by FIFA, and as well with Cave, he's employed by Sky Sports. So Sky will have this, I suppose, this way of making out that they are having a for and against argument, for certain things. But that they're all for it because they're paid to do that. They're not paid to criticise. They're obviously paid to read the headlines and the news and the transfers and stuff like that. But when it comes to these sort of competitions, it's very rare that you find a reporter being negative about it. They will comment on what's being said negatively, but really from their point of view, they've got to be as negative. They've got to be as positive as possible, and that's what I'm seeing. So FIFA are not going to take any responsibility for player welfare come the season. Nothing was come out with Musiala after his horrific injury in the Munich PSG game. So with Wenger saying, we asked these clubs and they want to go again. Ask Bayern Munich, are they happy now that they've got a player, an important player, out for the rest of the season potentially? And this could impact their season. Have Bayern Munich got money to go out and? There's been news about them trying to sign Luis Diaz, but have they really got the money to be buying another player? Because I'm pretty sure Diaz was already thought of before the Musiala injury, but now you've got to try and find someone to replace Musiala as well for the season. I mean, it might have to be like a loan deal or something, but have they got the money to be spending to replace players that have been injured in a competition that they probably didn't even want to be in? But I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So please, send me a message and give me your thoughts on this one. But yeah, don't ask the clubs, ask the players. I'm sure they'll give you a bit more of an honest answer. And I think that's probably why they won't ask the players, because their honest opinions will be, I don't want to be, letting my fans down in November, December, where we're top of the league and we crash because we had to be in this competition, or because we won the Champions League 2 seasons ago, whatever. So it's an interesting one. So just a bit of transfer news as well that I want to try and react to. So Tottenham are doing some business in this transfer window after a lot of uncertainty in the early parts of the transfer window opening. They've been quite quiet, but now they've just had a double wham bam with first Mohamed Kudus. That was reported the night before it was reported that he was going to have a medical. And when his medical was announced, so was the signing of Morgan Gibbs-White, or the deal was close for Morgan Gibbs-White. And I believe his medical has been penciled in for today. So from a Tottenham perspective, I take it you're going to be thrilled because you're buying some really good players. Kudus, okay, he hasn't probably had the best of seasons. Morgan Gibbs-White has been, well, he's been the absolute warrior in that midfield for that team, and he's one of the reasons why they succeeded so well last year. Okay, they didn't get Champions League, but they still managed to get European football. No one even thought that they would be in the position to fight for a European place, let alone a Champions League place. So, and Morgan Gibbs-White was at the front of that improvement, and 40 million they paid for, I think it was, from Wolves. Looking at it now, it seems like an absolute steal. He's a very, very good player, and I'm sure he's going to bring something different to the Tottenham team. Obviously, what will happen with the regards to sales? Will Tottenham need to sell players now to make sure that they, the balance of the books in regards to PSR, which I find is going to be hard for them because I think they need to buy rather than sell because of their injury record from last year. And are they kind of looking at it and saying, look, we've got to be mindful of that. Well, then again, with Thomas Frank coming in, he's bringing in a whole new backroom team. So the physio side of it, the medical team side of it, it's going to be slightly different. So they might be able to manage it a bit better. We've seen that with the Klopp and Arne Slot transition, where Klopp, because of his style of play, you'd see a lot more injuries and a lot more long-term injuries. Now with Slot coming in and his football a bit more reserved, a bit more calm, it's more possession-based, not as much running, although Liverpool kind of did fall into that trap last year, and sometimes it worked. You can see, although there's been injuries, they're not as long term, they're not as severe. The minutes are being managed a lot more. So will we see that with Tottenham with Thomas Frank? But yes, Tottenham fans, I'm pretty sure you're excited with the news coming forward. Probably not so much for Nottingham Forest fans, because not only have they lost Gibbs White, they've also lost or losing potentially Anthony Elanga. But Marinakis has been known to spend money. He will not leave the team. I'm not a Forest fan. I don't know the ins and outs of Forest. So if you are a Forest fan, please, accept my apologies if I'm getting information wrong here. But Marinakis, from what I've read in previous seasons, he is willing to spend the cash, and obviously he's going to get 110 million pound from these sales of Gibbs White and Anthony Elanga. So you could probably get 3 very, very good players with that type of money. And even if that is the case, Marinakis will spend more money. I'm sure now he's had that taste of fighting for something that's not relegation, but more for the top end of the table. I'm sure he'll now he's got the taste for that. He's going to want to expect that continues. So yeah, chances are he will probably put his hand in his pocket and grab a few more players, because you also want to make sure while you're in these competitions now, these European competitions, that you've got the team stable to fight on 4 fronts. So you'll have obviously your Premier League, your FA Cup, your League Cup, and now you've got your Conference League. But yeah, so we'll see. I'll be surprised if I kind of assume that Forest will probably get about 5 players in. That they'll want to sustain a challenge of some sort this year. And like I said, Marinakis has never been afraid to spend the money. But yeah, we will see. I think there's still a bit of uncertainty now around the Mbeumo deal, but Wissa looks like he could be on the way as well. So would that affect the Mbeumo deal for United? I think United are going to be in for a frustrating couple of weeks, especially when it comes to the end of the transfer window. Obviously they've got Matheus Cunha, but some stark improvements need to be made to that team. And Amrim, I'm sure he'll be frustrated with the way it's been dealt with so far. But with the Wissa looking like he looks to be set for a move away, that Mbeumo deal could take a hit. But again, another interesting one. So we shall see. Last thing I want to talk about is, in light of the passing of Diogo Jota, obviously we know Liverpool they've decided to go ahead with the game against Preston North End, and I think it's probably the right decision, because I think if you hold back too much, then when are you going to go again? Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the right decision by the players. And as far as I'm aware, the club asked the players first. They didn't ask anything else. It was ask the players. These are the players that have been affected by this tragic passing of Diogo, and of course his brother Andre. And ITV have said that they will televise the game, so I think that's a good thing as well. So people that aren't at the match and obviously don't subscribe to the channel, I think it's LFC TV, that normally have these games on, the friendlies especially. I think that's a heartwarming thing to do as well. So yeah, and on the subject of Diogo Jota, with the news that had came out, as you can see from the whole wider footballing community, I think everyone was hit by this news. It was absolutely tragic and horrific. And when you hear the details of, he'd been married 10, 11 days at the time, and he's got 3 young kids. The parents have lost 2 sons. It's absolutely tragic, and all I can say is that my heartfelt condolences and prayers and so on go out to the family of Diogo and Andre, and I'm sure the club will honour him in some way. I think from what I've heard, Billy Hogan did come out and said that yes, we will do something, but we will obviously be in conversations with the family, allow them to process the unimaginable loss of these 2 young people. At the end of the day, they are young people, and then they will talk through what they want to do. Obviously, fans are calling for the shirt to be retired, and so I'm sure whatever happens, it'll be done. And the way Liverpool have come out, there's been quite classy, as has Wolves as well, and it's nice to see the wider football community come together. And I know it's sad that it's at times like these where you see this more than anything. And football is, tribalism and it's rivalry and stuff like that. But when these sort of things happen, and God forbid they happen again, they don't happen again rather. It's good to see that the football community comes together and they pay their respects and they put that tribalism to one side, and they remember the human element of this now. But it was really good to see, the tribute and everyone coming together and paying their respects. So from me at the Parcel Football, to Diogo and Andre Jota, to Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, I apologise. May you rest in eternal peace. Guys, thank you ever so much for listening. There will be some more episodes to come out. I will be as committed to this as possible. I want to be committed to this. As I've said, I am excited that I'm doing this. And when you have so much stuff inside that you want to talk about in regards to football, and you're talking about it with your family and friends, and you're not getting the same sort of passion back, what better way than to force people to listen to me if they really want to. So I'll be as committed as I can be. Some more episodes will come out, and obviously I'll have some more reactions to come through when, obviously with the amount of transfer news that's coming out at the minute. So I'll put some reaction videos up, and we'll keep going forward. So thank you unreservedly for the support, and the future support. And guys, just keep listening, and I hope you enjoy what I put out. Thank you for listening, guys. See you soon.